Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 13 preview episode of the Fourth Down Focus. As we said on the end of the last episode, we're kind of splitting them up now. We normally do it in one big episode. We thought this might be more enjoyable. So we're starting, obviously, with Thursday night football, and there's 3 games this week. So James, I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, I'll just whack this up on the screen quick before we get into it. So these are all the fixtures for the upcoming week. First Friday games of the year, I believe. Obviously Thanksgiving weekend, so
Wasn't the Brazil game on a Friday?
Yeah, it was.
Eagles Packers.
Oh, was it? Okay, fair enough. Our first one's the first week then. It's been a while since we've seen any football on a Friday. But we've got quite a lot of games on TV. Obviously, Thanksgiving is going to happen, a massive event for people in America. So happy Thanksgiving to any Americans watching us. Can't imagine there'll be many of you. But there's our fixtures for the week. So we will start off with, as Max said, the Lions versus the Bears. Kian, you can kick us off.
First of all, happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans. I'm going to go and get myself some turkey Twizzlers. Just so I can feel like I'm a little bit involved. And on that note, Lions, the Bears did look better last week, sorry, but it's the Lions. They're unbelievable, and I really don't see them losing another game. So Detroit is going to win on Thanksgiving, and they give away the turkey leg as well for the man of the match. So I don't know who the turkey leg will go to. I'm going to say Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to get a turkey leg, and the Lions are going to win.
No bear down?
No bear down this week, no.
Oh, Max, you're going to give us a bear down either?
I can say a bear down for you if you want, but I'm picking Detroit every day of the week. They've had is this their third divisional matchup in a row? If they lose to the Vikings and the Packers, but somehow beat the Lions, my head will fall off. I don't know what's happened there. Lions, they just keep barring everyone they play. Beat the Colts last week in a quite convincing win. Amon-Ra, incredible form. Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery, best running back pair in the league. Jared Goff. What more can I say? Even without Aiden Hutchinson, they're still finding ways to win every week and quite convincingly. And I don't think it's going to stop now. Best team in the NFL.
Ken?
Yeah, I think the Lions are going to be getting the first win of the Thanksgiving weekend. And Kian said, who did you say is going to get the turkey leg? Was it?
I think Amon-Ra.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Jameer Gibbs who gets his turkey leg. So big win for the Lions, of course.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Lions. Probably the easiest prediction we're going to make all week. Bears have been absolutely terrible the last couple of weeks. Not necessarily awful against the Vikings, but it's just not enough. You've got to be better than that to be winning them games, especially defensively. Just a bit of a shambles at the minute. But going with the Lions, and as far as this turkey leg thing goes, I'm probably going to agree with Caden and go with Jameer Gibbs.
I'll pick Jared Goff.
Okay. Funnily enough, no Bears players in that one because the Lions are going to win this by quite a distance. Next up, I don't really want to talk about it. It's the Cowboys versus the Giants because some idiot has let this end up on primetime. Cooper Rush against Tommy DeVito on primetime might be the worst primetime matchup we have ever seen. I'm quite willing to throw that one out there. I'll start as I always have to do with this useless franchise. The Cowboys are going to win, and because the Cowboys are this tragically bad that we might win. I don't want to, but it's gonna be the Cowboys. I'm picking the Cowboys. I'm not gonna make the same mistake as I did before with I can't remember what game it was where me and Caden went with the Giants and they ended up losing by quite a hefty distance. But yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys, unfortunately, to beat us. Max?
Yeah, Cowboys for me. Love Tommy DeVito, obviously. He's got the vibes. But Baker Mayfield does it better. And unfortunately, I think the Cowboys are building a bit of momentum now at a good time. The season's over. It don't really matter. They're not going to finish better than the Commanders. But yeah, the Giants just stink. You're terrible. And you've lost Vanilla Vic now. You've lost Danny Dimes. You've got nothing. You've not even got anything to laugh at anymore. You're just shit. It's not even funny anymore.
We don't have anything to laugh at. Have you watched us? Did you watch us last week?
And you got James.
Yeah, but it's not funny to laugh at it's not like funny to laugh at like Darius Slayton. Like, I don't care about him. It's funny to laugh at Daniel Jones. So yeah, Cowboys for me. Cooper Rush is playing better. Maybe he'll play better again. I don't know.
Caden?
Yeah, I've gone for the Cowboys as well. I was debating putting the Giants just because your players might be a bit happier that they're not going to ever have Daniel Jones thrown to him again. But then I have to remember that it's still the Giants and the Cowboys won their last game, so they could go into a bit of a run here to try. Well, it's Jerry Jones's men who will not be getting a good draft pick, of course. They'll get enough wins to be nowhere near top 5. So I think this will be one of 2 wins they'll get for the rest of the season.
Kian?
Yeah, I'm making it the sweep. I think the Cowboys are going to win. I do not rate the Giants at all. I don't think anyone does. I hope Dexter Lawrence gets a turkey leg because that's a man who looks like he enjoys a bit of food. And I just think, I can't see a way in which the Giants win this. They're a tragic side. Long live Cowboys. They're going to win. Cowboys for me.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. I didn't expect anything less. I think it's the only game we've got a chance in for the rest of the season, probably, is this one. So if we don't win this one, we are going to lose out the rest of the season. Next up, for me, probably one of the harder games to predict this week, the Packers against the Dolphins. Caden, you can start us off on this one.
It could be a very weird game. Dolphins looking a lot better than they were about to, of course, as you'd expect. Packers having a very good season as well. So can the Dolphins' momentum stop Green Bay from continuing what they've been doing? I don't think it can. I think Green Bay are a very exciting team. Jordan Love's playing really well. Josh Jacobs has been unbelievable. I think the Packers are going to get a win, but I think it will be a very good game to watch.
Kian?
Yeah, I can't mention it. With Tua, they have looked like a better team, but the Packers have been very good this season. Any other division, they'd be looking like they're going to be near the top of it with the record they've got. They're just unlucky that they've landed in the one where they're currently sat third with the record that they've got. But look, they've got a really strong run game. I do like Jordan Love as well. I personally don't think it's a hard game to predict at all. I'm going to go for the Packers, and I think they're going to win by 10 points at least.
Max?
I think it'll be close. I did think this was a tough one to predict until I just realised a fact that has made me go with the Packers, definitely. This is at Lambeau. Lambeau's known for being quite cold. The Dolphins, they used to play in the heat. We saw what happened when they went to the Chiefs in that really cold game. Was it last year before?
Yeah, last
and
year.
They got battered. I think it's going to happen again, to be honest, in the cold of Lambeau. I hope it's a snow game, to be honest, but I'd maybe not. We won't be looking to get that many snow games in the space of a week. Packers for me.
Yeah, I'm going to make it the third sweep in a row. I'd say I did struggle a bit with this one. I think with your point there, Max, you made my decision a lot easier with the weather factor into it. With the Dolphins, we've seen them struggle in cold weather, and it's understandable. They're not used to it. They play very little games in weather like that across the whole season. When you're playing in Florida weather, it's always going to be difficult going somewhere where it could end up being like minus temperatures throughout the game. But Packers have been great. Jordan Love has been good. They had a good game last week. I think it's against a Niners team, albeit was without Brock Purdy and Nick Bosa, but it's still not an easy team to beat, even without. They've done well without key players in certain situations. So definitely one to watch. But I think I'm going to go with the Packers to make it another sweep. Next up, Kian, the Chiefs against the Raiders.
Look, we shocked them last year. We're not going to shock them again. We were a better team last year than we are now. Gardner Minshew's gone, which probably is a plus, to be honest. I know O'Connell's back in training, but it probably is going to be a Desmond Ridder season game. Desmond Ridder fills me with no confidence at all. I don't think he's confident in his own ability. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to absolutely stormroll. I think it's at Arrowhead as well. Notoriously, we're not very good there. Jack Jones, pick six machine, is going to get nothing. I'm really not confident. I think they could absolutely batter us. It was a close game, actually, at our place, 20-27. So, it could have been a lot worse. These games do tend to be quite close, apart from, obviously, you get the odd blowout. We do tend to sort of keep up with them a little bit, but never actually get over the line. I really want to pick us. I don't want us to win another game of the season, bar this. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win. I see no way that we take them down in the current state that we're in.
Caden?
Well, I've gone for the complete opposite. I think the Raiders are going to beat the Chiefs. I said this weeks ago, and when the Raiders played the Chiefs earlier in the season, I also predicted them to win. It just feels like this is their time to beat the Chiefs again. It happened. Was it last year you beat them on Christmas?
Last Christmas, it was the best Christmas present I've ever had.
Yeah.
That's not the lyrics to that song.
Fuck off.
I think this year your holiday is Thanksgiving, and you're going to have something to celebrate for once with the Raiders, and the reign of terror will be stopped again.
Max?
I'm picking the Raiders for the simple reason that I've said for weeks that the Raiders are going to win. Listening to Kean talk then has filled me with absolutely no confidence whatsoever. But just based on a pride thing, I've been saying it for weeks, so I've got to back it now. Because I know that if I pick the Chiefs, the Raiders are probably going to somehow sneak like a 1-point win. So I'm backing the Raiders with 0 faith.
Yeah, against the Bills, I said I want to back the Bills and I didn't want to, thinking it's the Chiefs, or I was going to find a way. And I'd love to back against the Chiefs this week. And I'm going to back against the Chiefs this week. Give me the Raiders.
He's just compared Josh Allen to Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ritter season.
Well, no, it's not even that, because I had no faith in Josh Allen winning the game, but I've got full faith Desmond Ridder is going to, for whatever stupid reason. Yeah, no idea why I'm doing this. It's probably the most nailed-on Chiefs win of the season, but we've all been saying it for weeks. If there was any team that was going to end up upsetting the Chiefs, and that wasn't a team like the Bills or the Texans, it was going to be the Raiders. And I think it's just one of them games which screams Chief loss, and they'll probably end up winning about 40 points after this, but I'm going Raiders, just throwing one out there for a change. Instead of being boring and picking the Chiefs, I'm going to go with the Raiders. So this time it's going to backfire on me. Next up, we have the fraudulent Washington Commanders against the Tennessee Titans. Kian, you can start us off again on this one.
I don't think I can. I'm still in shock. Why is the Chiefs the edgy pick of the week?
Mate,
That just doesn't make sense.
it's Desmond the Rizzler Ridder season.
Oh, no. We bring the boom.
That's worse than Kirktober.
Oh, God.
What game actually is it? Sorry, I was too shocked to hear what you said.
The Commanders versus the Titans.
Oh, give me the Commanders. The Titans, okay, they won this week. Last week, I keep saying this week. Last week, Will Levis looked a little bit better, but, the Commanders, James seems to think they're fraudulent, but, they are good at beating these not great teams. And I think they're going to look to bounce back after what happened last week. That was a bit of a freak result. Jaden Daniels is going to get 30 touchdowns, and the Commanders are going to absolutely batter the Titans. Tony Pollard is not even going to touch the ball. So, yeah, give me the Commanders. I do not rate the Titans at all.
Max?
Give me Tennessee. This is my edgy pick of the week. The power of Will Levis and friends. We're going to get a meme, and it's going to be a good meme because Will Levis will have won. Nick Westbrook-Akine is going to score 5 touchdowns. And yeah, I don't know. The Commanders are on a bit of a losing streak at the minute, and as much as this should be where they end that, I just think that the Titans might have a chance. I wish I backed them last week against the Texans, who everyone thought was the easy pick there. I said the Titans might win it, and they did, so I'm going to back them this week. The Commanders and the Texans are on the same record, so, who knows?
Caden?
I mean, I agree with Max. I think we're going to get a Will Levis meme, but more in the style of one you'd get from Daniel Jones, because the Titans are not going to win. It's going to be a big win for the Commanders. They're not fraudulent. They're a good team. They should be beating the Titans. The Titans got a good win against the Texans, but that's more of a trap game for the Texans. I think the Commanders, yeah, they might have lost a couple now, and they could lose, but realistically, they should be winning, so I think they will win.
The Commanders are frauds. Give me the Titans.
Yes, James. Come on.
I'm going with it again. I'm just going all out there this week, just throwing it a kitchen sink here, basically. Give me the Titans 100%. I don't know why I've got so much faith in them, but I thought they were good against the Texans. The Commanders are just getting worse every week. They're going to keep losing. They're going to miss the playoffs because they are not as good as everyone thought they were. And I said it even at whatever their stupid record was at one point, like 6-7-2. I said it then, and I'll say it now. They're not that good. Keita, they're good at beating the bad teams, but they just lost to probably the worst team in football at the current moment, by the Giants. So I'm not
Don't forget
convinced
the
of that
Raiders.
anymore.
Don't forget the Raiders.
True. Well, I don't know, man. The Cowboys have been pretty spectacularly bad in the last couple of games.
Very true.
But yeah, I'm going with the Titans to beat the Commanders. I don't even think it's much of an upset. I think the Commanders are frauds, as I've said many weeks, and I'm going with, as you said, Westbrook Keeney to get loads of touchdowns. Levis is going to get 250 plus yards. You can bookmark this and come back to it when the Commanders inevitably win by 30 points, but still.
You've
Next
got
up,
such a great history with telling us to bookmark things. You know that you told us to bookmark the Swans who were going to win as well. So yeah, don't trust any of James' bookmarks, guys.
Yeah. Next up, the Jets against the Seahawks. I mean, I for one sort of forgot about the Jets' existence in the last couple. I don't know, were they on a bye last week? I think
they were.
I just sort of forgot they existed, to be honest. I don't even think twice about it. I'll start us off for once. I'm going with the Seahawks. It's just a weird one because I always keep thinking the Jets are bound to win at some point, but I just don't think they are anymore. Aaron Rodgers is getting more clinically insane by the minute, and it's just getting worse and worse, and he just needs to retire or something. Just get away from, at least get out of this organization, because dear me, it's all going wrong. Yeah, Seahawks look really good again. They're such a weird team, the Seahawks. You know, they're winning these games just like sort of. I think they're going like sort of off the radar a bit, winning all the games that they are. But you know, they're still winning quite comfortably in a lot of the games they're playing. I think Geno Smith's actually like second for passing yards this season or something like that. Like he's really high up on the chart, which just again, I have no idea how that's happened. But I'm going with the Seahawks to get a pretty straightforward win against a bad Jets team. Caden?
Jets for me. So I'll go.
You're going to elaborate now?
No.
Do I need to?
You know what, I think we'll just let that one just sit, and we'll let some reasoning come back into the podcast. Max?
Seahawks. They've just beat the Cardinals, who I'm quite high on at the minute. They beat the Niners, who are up and down at the minute. And I think the Jets are a lot worse than both of those two teams I've just mentioned. It's as simple as that. The Seahawks should probably trounce them by about 20 points.
Kid?
Two elderly men playing at quarterback. I'm not looking forward to this game. Every time it comes on Red Zone, I'm going to go on my phone. But yeah, give me the Seahawks. The Jets are just, I don't know, man. I thought that they had something this season. I think a lot of us thought they had something going this season, but Rodgers just needs to go back to one of his wilderness retreats and then just stay there, because he shouldn't be on a field ever again. They're absolutely atrocious. So yeah, give me the Seahawks. I keep saying the Jets are going to win a game. I agree with you, James. I don't think they actually are. They're really not very good. And the man who runs the show is a 40-odd-year-old conspiracy theorist. So, you know, that's not really much optimism for the Jets. So yeah,
you left out the two-time MVP part as well. But...
but he's washed now.
Yeah. Probably.
I don't know if you can. I don't know how you can debate that one, Max. To be honest,
I can't. It was just funny that's what he called Aaron Rodgers. We just forgot about the two MVPs that he's won.
I used to like him as well.
At this point,
yeah,
I think everyone's forgot about it at this point after this disaster at the Jets. He's
going to win this week. It's fine.
Yeah, it's nice to know Caden's completely forgot that he's not on a bye week anymore, and he's actually.
He must have the same mental state as Aaron Rodgers if he thinks that.
Got nothing to lose.
Very fair point.
That is true, actually.
This one was a difficult game to predict for probably all the wrong reasons. The Patriots against the Colts, two pretty bad teams. And I for one, I'm still not really sure on this one, so I'll pass it off to you, Max, to start it off.
Drake May, Patriots, get the win, get back on form. That's all I've got, really. The Colts are just weird. They're another weird team, but slightly shitter than the Seahawks. You've had the quarterback dramas all year. Flacco in, Flacco out. Richardson benched, Richardson injured. They've got some good weapons. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's obviously always capable of changing the game. But I don't know. I just feel like the Patriots might have it. And I don't know why I'm doing this, because they got absolutely battered on Sunday. Like, I know Kean had Ramondre Stevenson on his bet, and it got to like the third quarter, and we still hadn't seen the Patriots like attack on red zone. but I don't know. Give me New England.
Kian?
No, I'm going to go for the Colts. The Patriots, I was quite high on Drake May, and I don't think it's his fault at all. But I don't think he can turn them around this season. They're really not a great team. They've got a big running back, but apart from that, they're just not great at. They're just, sorry, I can see Max giggling in the corner. They're just not great at all, and I just don't see it getting any better. So yeah, give me the Colts.
Caden?
I've gone for Drake May and the Patriots. I do really like Drake May. I think he's better than Bo Nick. And it's another one of those weeks where I just feel like the underdog is going to be getting a lot done, and the Patriots are going to get a win here.
Yeah, see, I do really like Drake, mate. I think you've got the highest ceiling of any quarterback in this draft class by quite a distance. But yeah, I'm going to go out of pure interest of trying to beat Max in predictions.
You'll never beat me, mate.
I'm going to have to go with the Colts just to have some difference. Otherwise, we're going to have all the same teams, and there's basically no point in even doing it. I'm going to go with the Colts. I just think they weren't awful. I think it's the Lions. You can't really do much against that team. But yeah, I just think the Colts will have enough to take down this terrible Patriots team.
I apologise for killing the podcast completely.
Look, I'm not explaining what I'm laughing at, but if you've seen the clip.
Can we put the clip in?
I'm not putting the clip in, no.
No, we're definitely not going to put the clip in there. I feel we'll probably move on from this game. We'll move on to the power of Sam Darnold and friends, and potentially Daniel Jones and friends in a couple of weeks. The Minnesota Vikings against the Arizona Cardinals. Max, as someone who's high on the Cardinals, I'll let you take this one because this is probably a difficult one for you to predict.
I was just checking. I forgot what picked for this one. Vikings, unfortunately, the Cardinals just got beat by the Seahawks, and unfortunately, I think their run of form might be over. I saw a good tweet the other day, and it was something like, I can't remember the teams. I think it was Cardinals, Jets, and someone else all make great background noise on Red Zone every week. And that's the most true statement I think I've ever seen, to be honest. Yeah, give me the Vikings, unfortunately, even though I've grown to hate them for some reason. I think it's because James likes them so much, it pisses me off.
How do you think you and the Bears?
Yeah, this is us two with you and the Bears. At least the Vikings are actually good. Yeah, I'm good with the Vikings as well. Love the Vikings. Another great game last week, and I think I'm going to pretend I'm a Vikings fan for the rest of the season to have some fun, because if I keep just watching the Giants every week, I'm just going to give up with this sport very quickly. So in the interest of keeping my interest in the NFL alive, I'm going with the Vikings, and I'm actually going to hope they win for once. Caden?
I've got the Vikings as well. I think if they can play anywhere near as well as they did against the Bears, especially Sam Darnold, they can probably win every game for the rest of their season, because they seem to have that energy they had at the start of the season back, and they could genuinely go and beat them for the rest of the year if they keep winning these games by small amounts. But I think this should be a fairly straightforward win for them.
Kian?
Yeah, I'm going Vikings. Like I said, I don't think they're a great side, but the Cardinals got absolutely battered this week. And I think the Vikings could do similar if they turn it on. Don't get me wrong, it'll probably be a one-score game. But if the Vikings turn it on, I've got no hope for the Cardinals. Obviously, the Vikings got a small running back as well. So it really changes things. So yeah, give me the Vikings.
So next up, we have the Jags against the Texans. Interesting game, this one, with the Texans on a bit of a slump, but I think it should still be quite straightforward. But, well, I don't know if anyone wants... I was expecting them to go quite edgy here, especially maybe Caden. But you know what, Caden? We'll start with you. What do you think about this one?
I had the Texans written down, but I had a change of heart. Give me Jacksonville.
Nice hoodie reference.
Shut up. Give me Jacksonville.
I'm just going to move on. I don't even want to hear your reasoning for that. Max?
Duval County is going to be where the Texans win again. I don't even know if it's in Jacksonville, but the Texans. I'm not gonna back against them again. Unfortunately, the Jags. I mean, as you can see behind me, even we beat the Jags. The Jags are not very good, and the Texans are going to get back to winning ways.
Kian?
I don't agree with James's statement that this is an interesting game at all. It's another one. I think the actual correct word for this game is a piss break when it comes on Red Zone, because what a shocking game. Texans are going to absolutely batter them. They'll be back to the usual self. Joe Mixon isn't going to be held to 22 yards or whatever it was. The Jags I've just got no hope for them. And, they've paid Trevor Lawrence that much money. They're going to be stuck like this for a few years. So, yeah, it's not going to change.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is exactly the problem.
I don't think he's the problem, but I don't think he's the solution either.
Yeah. No. I think I'm more interested in the fact that it might be like a potential weird slip-up game, but I'm not backing it. There's no reason.
That was last week.
There's no reason to back it. They've had it now, so I'm going with the Texans. Caden's evidently gone clinically insane in his attempt to not do what the forfeit we dream up for him because he's already lost. But
gone insane.
Just head loss down there, but. I'm going with the Texans. Not really much else to say about it, to be honest. It should just be quite a straightforward win for him. Although I feel like every time we say that about the Texans, they end up losing, so God knows what will actually happen. But next up, the Falcons against the Chargers. As an avid Chargers enjoyer at the minute, I'll start it off. I am going to back them again. I feel like they were bound to lose at some point. They weren't going to go unbeaten for the rest of the season. I think if there's any game they were going to lose in that sort of run, it would probably been that Ravens game. I would have backed it. I did say it was a sort of game Ravens need to win. Falcons, again, they probably do need to win if they want to keep any hope of playoffs alive, because they've got that division where they probably will stand up winning the division with not even a great record, so they don't necessarily have to worry too much. But I think the Chargers are just a really good football team at the end of the day. I think it's just what it comes down to. I just can't see the Falcons being able to stop them with their little run they're on. They're struggling quite a bit at the minute, so I am going to go with the Chargers to bounce back to winning ways and get back on their charge towards the playoffs. Kian?
I'm a lifelong avid Chargers hater, but I'm also going to go for the Chargers. I think they're going to win this game. I've got nothing else more to say because I don't like dwelling on the fact that they're a good team. So, yeah, give me the Chargers.
Max?
I don't know. This could be a good game, to be honest. The Falcons they need it. Since Kirktober ended, they've fallen off a little bit. Kirk Vember has not happened. But the thing is with the NFC South, it genuinely comes down to whoever wins it is getting the playoff spot. Because if you come in like second in that division, it's always kind of low, like a low win-loss ratio. So if you come in second in that, you might not even make the playoffs. So I think you really need to try and win that. And obviously the Bucks and the Falcons are the main two that are going out right now. So the Falcons should probably start picking up some wins. But the Chargers are better, so they're going to win.
Caden?
Yeah, I've got the Chargers as well. Just seems to make sense. Chargers are a very good team. Falcons do need a win, so they're probably going to give them a bit of something. But I don't think they'll have enough to beat the Chargers. So that's my prediction for Chargers.
Next up, and Caden, you can start it off as it is your team back in action after your bye week. Bengals against the Steelers. And I fear this might be another episode of you losing your head.
I'm past it now. There's only so many times I can repeat the same things. The problem's very obvious. Anyone can see it. We just don't seem to be doing anything about it or even trying to do anything about it. So I think the Steelers will win. We never really do well against the Steelers anyway, and if we're ever going to do it, it's not now. I just think it's a very depressing time to be a Bengals fan. We should be arguably top of that division with the numbers we've been putting up, but it's not meant to be.
Max?
You know who does play well against the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, it's
Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns. The Ravens beat you and the Steelers beat the Ravens and we beat the Steelers. So we're technically the best team in the AFC North, if you ask me. I'm going to go Steelers, unfortunately, as much as I hate them. I think they'll probably want to bounce back from embarrassingly losing to Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns, which I cannot stop saying without smiling. Yeah, Steelers should probably win. It might be another high-scoring one that the Bengals keep pulling out of nowhere, where each team bangs like 35, 34 points out. Yeah, Steelers, unfortunately. Sorry, Caden, that.
Kian?
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers as well. Everyone said exactly what I thought about it, to be honest. The Steelers, they find a way, and even if it's a high-scoring game, they'll just find a way to match them and keep up going with them. So, yeah, Steelers for me. They lost last Thursday, sorry. So they're going to be looking to bounce back, and I think they probably will bounce back as well. So, yeah, Steelers.
They don't always find a way. They didn't find a way in the dog pound.
Oh, Christ.
I'm just going to make mine quick so he can't bring this up again for the rest of the podcast. I'm picking the Steelers.
We've still got a Browns game to predict, mate.
Oh, great, yeah. And it's the last one, so it's even better. Yeah, I'll go with the Steelers. I think, if whatever happened, I don't have a clue what happened, to be honest. Just the mishap of just luck for the Browns finally cashed in. Probably the best time as well for them. But as a Browns fan, you'd want it to be that game if you're going to win any game for the rest of the season. So, but they need to bounce back to keep up their sort of push towards being one of the highest seeded teams going into the playoffs. And I think they will with a win over a Bengals team who literally cannot defend for the life of them. And don't even, as you said, don't even look like they're trying to improve on defending anything. So, yeah, give me the Steelers. Next up, we have the Saints against the Rams. It might be a bit difficult. I mean, Max, you said you weren't sure 100%, but again, you can start us off on this one. What do you think?
I was struggling with this one a little bit just because they're both a bit like they could win, they could get battered. Like it's like that every week picking these teams. I am going to go Rams because I think they have a lot more firepower, but I don't think the Saints should be overlooked because they've started getting in form a little bit again. They beat us, which isn't hard unless you're Pittsburgh. Am I right? But yeah, I'm taking the Rams.
Kian?
Yeah, I'm also taking the Rams. Max alluded to it. The firepower is there, and it's not currently on the Saints. But the Saints shouldn't be overlooked. I don't think that this is going to be a massively high-scoring game. I also don't think that one of the teams is going to win by a massive margin. I think it'll be the Rams, and I think it'll be close. But I can't back Derek Carr. I had to watch far too many years of him, and I didn't back him when he was playing for my own team, so I certainly can't back him now. So yeah, Rams for me.
Caden?
Yeah, I've got the Rams as well. Unfortunately, I think the Rams were having a bit of a rough season. They had all the injuries earlier in the season. When they started getting these players back into the squad, they're just not playing as well as they should be. I still think they'll beat the Saints because the Saints aren't very good. But yeah, probably a low-scoring game, but will be a Rams win.
Yeah, I'm in the sort of principle that Taysom Hill can't be that good this close to his last good game. I'm going to go with the Rams. He does sort of spawn in with a game like that every now and again, but it's too soon after his last one for it to be now. I said the Rams just haven't been impressive. I did think, after that, was it against the Vikings, that win there would spur them on a bit and just send them on a little run towards a playoff push maybe, but just not happened for them. Just not got firing. And I think, it should be, if the Saints perform like the Saints normally do, this should be a straightforward win for the Rams. I don't think it'll be by a lot, or I don't think it'll be a massively high-scoring game, but I also don't think it'll be too nervy for the Rams in the end. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bryce Young on a bit of a run at the minute, but also Baker Mayfield is also playing very well. So it might be a little interesting game this after, probably if you look back 2 weeks ago, everyone thought it would be the easiest prediction of the week. Kian, you can start us off.
I'm going to go for the Bucs because I do still find it quite hard to back the Panthers. I know obviously I did last week, but that was just like a bit of a gut feeling that I had. But I think it'll be close. Like you say, Bryce Young's having a pretty good last few weeks. He needs to try and solidify himself as the guy in Carolina. And I think if he plays this season out as well as he can, as well as we saw at Alabama, then, people will stop talking about him how they currently do and just go, okay, he's mediocre. He's an average NFL quarterback. He's good. He's fine. But yeah, I think the Bucks are going to win. Baker Mayfield's also on a decent run, as you mentioned. And I just find it really hard to back the Panthers because of the last couple of years. So yeah, give me the Bucks.
Caden?
Yeah, I'll take the Bucks as well. I think the Panthers did get quite unlucky against the Chiefs. I backed them to beat the Chiefs. I think it was you that did as well, Keelan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just gave Mahomes too much time on the clock after they got that touchdown, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens. But I think the Bucks will beat them because the Panthers, they had it in them to go to the very end with the Chiefs, but they probably won't do that again with another team for the rest of the season. And I know exactly what Max is going to say about Baker Mayfield, and I do agree. You can't back against Baker. And
I think I'm going to trademark that.
Yeah, you've really coined this term to me. But yeah, I think the Bucks will get a fairly easy win.
Max?
The trademark, never back against Baker, apart from when I occasionally do. Bucks. It's another NFC South matchup. Like I said before, if you get the wins and you win the division, you'd likely to go to the playoffs. If you come second, nope. So, Bucks. I just think they have a lot more firepower. You're comparing Mike Evans to Adam Thielen, who's about 38 at this point. He's not 38, but he's old. You get the point. Bucks.
Wasn't Thielen traded, or have I made that up?
No, he played against the Chiefs, mate.
Oh, was he? I feel like they've been trading so many people that I just forget.
He was injured.
That might be what it was. Right, fair enough. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bucks. I was tempted with the Panthers because Bryce Young is looking like Bama Bryce now, back to where we all sort of expect him to be before he came into the NFL. But as you said, there's just more firepower in that Bucks team, and they're still playing well. The record may not suggest they're doing the best, but Bucky Irving had his first sort of breakout game, albeit it doesn't really count. It was against the Giants, but still, him and Baker look great as a little duo. Last week, just tore us apart. Mike Evans back in the frame now as well. That's always going to help, having your number one guy back. For the receiver, so I'm going to go with the Bucks as a little. I think it's our first sweep in quite a few, or at least since the Browns game, so Steelers game rather. Next up, we have sort of the end next 2 out of 3 games anyway. Should be some pretty interesting games. This one probably game of the week for week 13. The Ravens against the Eagles. A big one. This in terms of teams pushing for the playoffs. Max, you can start us off.
I said it on the week 12 review episode. I think this could be the Super Bowl. It all depends on the Lions and the Chiefs, because obviously they're the big two right now. If they both somehow mess up in the playoffs, this will be the Super Bowl. I guarantee you. I might even put money on it. This is going to be a good game. However, Eagles, a 7-win run streak. I think it continues here. Baltimore, they lost to us. Can I say anything else? That's embarrassing. So yeah, Eagles for me. Jalen Hurts is going to score 5 rushing touchdowns, and Lamar's only going to score 4. So
I feel like you've based 99% of your predictions throughout the season on if they were beaten by the Browns or not. So
I do. It makes sense.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you though. I'm going to go with the Eagles as well. As much as I really hate doing this, I really wish they just lose every week like they were doing at the start of the season, but unfortunately it didn't last very long. They're just on the form of their life for the minute. Saquon's just playing the best he's ever played in this league. And when you've got Jalen Hurts, you said, flying all season, at least on the ground anyway, that amount of rushing touchdowns from a quarterback is a bit silly, as you said. They are all touch pushes, so it doesn't really count. But
defense is really good as well.
Yeah, defense finally stepped up. That secondary is probably one of the best in the NFL at the minute. DeJean and Mitchell have just been great. And that was their one issue they had for so many years, and they finally fixed it. And they did it properly by getting 2 rather than 1, which I think was a sensible decision, as it's proven to pay off so far. So I think, I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think they'll be able to shut down any passing routes for Lamar Jackson, and then all they've got to do is focus everything on stopping Derrick Henry, because I think that's going to be their main threat, as it always is. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. Caden?
I've got the Eagles as well. I think that they are too good at the moment to lose this game. I think it's a very good game. There'll be a lot of running, of course. Probably the best 2 running backs in the NFL. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I think
Apart from Nick Chubb.
Yeah, of course, Nick should. But yeah, very good game to watch. And I don't know about Eagles Super Bowl. I can see the Ravens getting there more than the Eagles, if I'm being honest, and that is a very, very slim chance. But I think the Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL at the moment, and probably deserve to be in that conversation with the Lions for the best in the NFC.
Kian?
I'm going to do exactly what we did with the last Ravens game, where you all picked against the Ravens. I'm going to pick the Ravens. I just don't. I don't get me wrong. I think the Eagles are a good team, but these win streaks are bound to come to an end at some stage. I find it very, very hard to back against the Ravens anyway, and I do think that this week they're going to win. Like Caden mentioned, it'll be a very run-heavy game. I'm going to be so bored watching it, but I'll power through, and I'm going to go Ravens. But I think it'll be close. It could have gone either way, but just a spur of the moment thing. I didn't have anything written down, but Ravens for me.
Back the under on passing yards for both quarterbacks, by the way.
Yeah. Next up, another decent game for us later on in the week. We have the Bills against the 49ers. I'll start this one off. I think it's an interesting one because the 49ers, we don't even know what team they're going to end up fielding because I don't know what Brock Purdy's going to end up playing or not. I don't know if Bosa's going to end up playing or not. So it really depends on what sort of team they end up putting out. I feel like I've been cheating a bit because had I known Purdy and Bosa would have been out against the Packers, I never in a million years would have bet the Niners to win that game. So in light of that possibly happened again, and I probably would have done this anyway, I'm going to bet the Bills, probably one of the maybe the second best team in the NFL at the minute. The potential, you can argue with the Chiefs, but they have beaten them. So I think if you put it down to that, I feel they've got to be labelled the second best at the minute. But they just look great. Josh Allen's a joke. He's just so good. And he's going to continue to be unreal against a 49ers defense, which has struggled all season long. And I'm going to back the Bills to win this one. Max, you're shaking your head. I'll let you go next.
I just don't think that they're the second best team in the NFL. I think it's Lions, Eagles, Bills, and Cleveland Browns. No, that's the joke, I promise. No, I think the Bills should probably piss this, to be honest. I don't think it's the 49ers season whatsoever. There's a good chance that they're going to come last in the NFC West, which is wild, to be honest, based off the fact that they were in the Super Bowl last year. It's quite crazy, but yeah, I think the Bills should probably walk it.
Kian?
Yeah, I'm going Bills. I think they are the best team in the AFC. Certainly, probably not the best team in the NFL because obviously Lions exist, but the best team in the AFC. And like Max said, this is not the 49ers year. Something's gone horribly wrong. They've been plagued with injuries. And I just think that the Bills are kicking on more and more. So give me the Bills, and I do not think it'll be close unless Bosa and Purdy are back. Then it'll be a good game.
Caden?
Yeah, it should be a harder prediction than it is, considering it's for 49ers and the Bills. 49ers, as you said, in the Super Bowl last year, but it feels like a shadow of that team now. Even when they've got the players that are missing playing, it just feels like nothing's working for them. And I think the Bills, arguably the best team in the AFC, but obviously it was the Chiefs. And I think the Bills will get a win, and I do feel for the 49ers because they should be doing a lot better than they are. I can imagine it's quite annoying being a 49ers fan this season because you're expecting the Super Bowl and you're finishing bottom of the division. It's not what you really want.
Finally, to end off the week, unfortunately, another terrible primetime game. And how the Browns have managed to scam their way onto primetime 2 weeks in a row, I'll have no idea, but they have done. It is the Broncos against the Browns, and Max, as always, as it is your team, you can start us off to finish it up here.
I'm sure you don't want to start because Bo Nix is playing and you love him that much.
Oh yeah, QB1, mate. I'll go next, so you can start.
Unfortunately, we are on prime time 2 weeks in a row. Don't know how that's happened. At least we get a longer week. We've gone Thursday to Monday. Extra bit of rest, bit of practice. I don't know. I still don't think it'll be enough to beat the Broncos, unfortunately. Historically, we don't really beat the Broncos. I think they're like 9-3 against us in like recent years. And I think Bo Nix is probably going to tear us apart. The only thing that kind of makes me think we might steal another one is the defense is really good at the minute. Grant Delpit, the man behind me, I don't know what the fuck. This is all mirrored, and I can't. You get my point, right? Miles Garrett, 3 sacks last week against the Steelers, made TJ Watt look like a little boy because that's what he is. I won't say that to his face. And, just the defense is playing good at the minute. We're shutting people out, just not enough. And especially if your name's Taysom Hill, still annoyed about that. Yeah, I'll stop waffling. Broncos, unfortunately, probably going to beat us, but who knows?
QB1, Bo Nix for another big win for the Denver Broncos. 100%. I love Bo Nix. I think it's a great little story. Everyone wrote him off. I've said it many weeks. Everyone wrote him off going into the season. It was a reach, whatever this, that, whatever. He turned out to be the best quarterback in the class this season. Yeah, Broncos just still look good. That defense, I said your defense has been good. That Broncos defense has been good all season. I think obviously it has helped. They haven't had the most difficult schedule, but even still, you can only beat what's in front of you, and they have been most of the time. I think they'll do that again this week. I think I did find it quite hilarious. So Myles Garrett said he was a defensive player of the year. That did make me giggle quite a bit on his interview last week. He's not even in the top 3. But yeah, I'm going with the Broncos for. I think the Browns. James,
I've got a question.
Yeah.
What does Bo Nix's penis taste like?
Yeah, I go with the Broncos. Browns had their one lucky win last week. That's not going to happen again. I think it'll be back to normal. I refuse to believe Jameis Winston has 3 good games in a row. I just don't think it's humanly possible. It would break the course of human nature for him to have 3 good games in a row. So I'm going to go with the Broncos to win this one. Caden?
I've got the Broncos as well, unfortunately. The Browns, it was nice that you beat the Steelers, but it's back to reality. You are the Browns. I think the main reason I don't want the Browns to win again is I'm pretty sure if the Browns beat them and we lost, we'd go bottom of our division, which would
be the same. We'd be the same record, but no, you've got the tiebreaker on us because you beat us.
Oh yeah, that's fine then.
So you'd still be slightly above.
Yeah, that was the worst outcome, but the Broncos will get a win. Bo Nix playing very well. Is he the best quarterback in this draft class? Probably not. I still think that goes to Jaden Daniels at the moment, but we can revisit that later down the line. But Broncos win.
Kian?
Bo Nix this, Bo Nix that. Get off his Bo Dicks. Have a fucking rest. I'm fed up hearing about it.
He's been waiting to say that the entire time.
Honest to God, I'm fed up
hearing about it. He had that one locked in a week.
Absolutely fed up. I'm taking the Browns. Because Jameis Winston, I find very hard to back against. Because one week he's Jameis Brady, next week he's Jameis Manziel. So he's really, really hard to back against. So yeah, give me the Browns. I can't back the Broncos. Bo Nix is not going to shag you. Cleveland for me. And the Broncos are going to go back to reality, back to the Broncos that the Broncos have been for the last 7 years, or however long it's been since Peyton Manning left them. Thank you.
Love you, Kian.
Well, there's another one wrong for Kian this week. So that is all our predictions for this week. I've got 2 questions for you, as we always do at the end of these.
If one of them is about Bo Nix, I'm leaving.
Well, I can tell you now, one of them is not about Bo Nix or anything to do with
one of them.
Well, at least not.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You will not have to hear about Bo Nix for the rest of the episode, Kian, don't worry. My first question is, apart from Andy Reid, because that's the too safe answer, who is the best head coach currently in the NFL? So throw this one out there, just see if anyone's got a massive opinion on this one. I'll start with you, Caden.
It's got to be Dan Campbell, hasn't it? Is there anyone on that level?
I mean, has anyone got a different opinion?
I really like Dan Campbell, and I did say the other week that he's probably going to get Coach of the Year. However, I really do like Matt LaFleur with the Packers. I don't know why. And obviously the Lions are having a better season, but I just really like LaFleur.
Kian?
I personally think Jim Harbaugh. Because
that's a shout, actually.
He's revitalized that Chargers team. They were absolutely terrible last year. They gave up 60 points to us. So I think Harbaugh and not the other brother.
Yeah, I do. I'm not discrediting Dan Campbell at all. I think he's definitely in that conversation. He's got to be top 2. But yeah, I'm going to agree with Kian. I think Jim Harbaugh as well. Just the way he's turned that Chargers team around from being pretty average, on the poorer side of average, to being a competitive team in the AFC in that quick amount of time. And he hasn't really done much. Like, obviously, they had the high pick in the draft. They got their line sorted. But apart from that, he hasn't really had much impact as far as like bringing in players. It's just the system, making Justin Herbert look like a rushing quarterback when he's never been that in his entire career. I think we say this every week, but it's just the way he's turned that team into competitive. Like, he makes Quentin Johnson look like a competent receiver, which is a miracle in itself. But yeah, I'm going to go Jim Harbaugh as well. And finally, not really restricted to quarterbacks, but your quarterback might be an answer. Who do you think is the best collegiate prospect going into the draft at the end of the season? Doesn't have to be a quarterback, doesn't have to be anyone, just who you think will be the best player in the NFL based on just your opinion. Max, you can start us off.
I feel like I don't know enough about this draft class yet because I normally wait till the season's finished to take like a proper look at it and start watching all the mock drafts and stuff. I'm going to say now it's not Travis Hunter. He's not even cornerback one for me. I don't know why all the people do the mock drafts have him so high. It's not him for me. I mean, Territorial McMillan looks quite good. I'd quite happily take him or a tackle. I might have to go Shedeur Sanders because he's the best quarterback, and the quarterback is the most important position on the field, and he's better than Cam Ward, James. I'm sorry.
Kian?
I'm not going Shedeur Sanders as much as I like him. Travis Hunter is definitely not. As I said the other day, he's a jack of all trade, master of none. But I'm going to go with Ashton Jeanty. His impact on that team is just absolutely crazy. Everyone's saying Hunter for Heisman is just ridiculous. What does he? Oh, he plays lots of snaps. Ashton Jeanty gets lots of yards and lots of touchdowns. For me, he is the man. If he wasn't a running back, he'd go a lot higher up the board than he does, but historically they don't go very high. But yeah, I think Jeanty's going to take the league by storm. He's got everything in his locker to be a good NFL running back. So yeah, Jeanty.
I think he's going to be like the next Jahmyr Gibbs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
They're very similar.
Caden?
I've been thinking, I don't know enough about college football, but one person I hear about a lot is Shedeur Sanders, mainly because he does interviews with Zlatan Ibrahimovic and refuses to take his watch off before games and makes music. But I've been watching little bits of highlights, and he does look like a very good player. I think any team that needs a quarterback should be looking to him in a draft because he could quite easily be a very good quarterback and change a team's trajectory. I know, Kian, you really want him. So if he's sick, I do hope he goes to Vegas.
He should. I think he will go to Vegas in the end, as long as they don't start winning games. Like, they should be fine if they. Because I think you're third at the minute, right, Kian, in the draft order.
Yeah.
So
Third
you're either going to get
and-
him or Ward.
Third at the minute, and he trains with Tom Brady in most off seasons. So I don't see a way he doesn't end up in Vegas unless we win games, which looks impossible.
Yeah, I feel like even if we were to take him, it would be a sort of Eli Manning situation. He just wouldn't play for us in the end. You take Cam Ward, or we just swap. Like, I don't think it's going to be. I think we'll take Ward and you'll take Sanders. But for me, I got two. Ashton Jeanty is one of them. I think it's criminal how he's not like out and out Heisman favorite. It's that Travis Hunter is not it. And if he didn't play, if he was just a receiver or just a corner, he wouldn't even be in the top. He might even be a first round pick in the draft, like consensus, let alone potentially going first overall. I just don't think he's not the best receiver in the class, and he's not the best cornerback in the class. My other one's Will Johnson, who is the best corner in the class. I think he's really, really good for Michigan. And I think he's going to go on to be a lockdown corner. I think whoever gets him's got a solid defensive piece for like a very long time. I don't know who he'll end up with because there's too many teams needing any like offense in this draft. So I think you see a lot of tackles go. You see a lot of quarterbacks go straight off the board to begin with. But I think he's been criminally overlooked in some mock drafts. I think as well, one for Max Moore, Will Campbell, the tackle. He's going to be a great tackle in the NFL. I think he will end up with the Browns. Obviously,
I want him. I want him or Calvin Banks, please.
Yeah,
I want
them
either.
both great, and they'll be franchise guys for some guys for a long few years. It'll be like a Joe Alt situation. They're going to be great in the league for a long time. But I'm going with Jeanty and Johnson for mine. So that's all we have.
I would have said Johnson myself, but I hate Michigan too much. Ohio State do play Michigan this Saturday as well, by the way. So I'll be watching that one.
I mean, I could have said the best edge rusher in the class, James Pierce Jr., but I'm going to leave that one out.
No.
Can't do an M. I was trying to do an M with my fingers. I can't do it.
Oh, is he going to get it? No.
What the
That's
fuck
a
is
V.
going on? Outro the podcast. This
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
just
like-
going
I don't like
I don't
Vanderbilt.
know what's going on here. Okay,
did
he's
it?
done
That is an M, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done it. Fair enough. Right, that is all we have time for this week. We'll be back next week, as we said. Next week we'll have obviously 2 episodes that we have this week with a preview and a review of the week just gone. So early in the week next week you'll see us with a review of week 13, and then later in the week you'll have our week 14 predictions. But thank you to Max, Kian, and Caden for joining me, and we'll see you all next week.
See you later.
Right.